Hello everyone and welcome. Today I am very happy because I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things in the world, which is books. And today I will be sharing 7 of my favorite children authors and some of their books. So the first one I want to talk about is David Shannon. David Shannon has written books such as No David, David Goes to School, and It's Christmas, David. He has a whole series about David, but not only. David Shannon is very well known because of No David, which was a huge success. This was actually a book that he wrote as a child and then he reproduced in this form as an adult, and it had a huge success, so other David books were born. My child has loved this book, still loves this book, and he can read some of the words in the book because most of the words are no and David, and even the back of the book is very interesting because it says no all over, and my child, even as a baby, loved to just point at all the no and read no along with it. David Shannon has written many other books, and some of the books he has written are very silly and fun, but actually hide a very deep meaning behind them. Maybe I will do just a video about David Shannon's books, just now that I think about it, because I love his books and the meaning behind his books. One of the silly books that I love by David Shannon is Duck on a Bike, and it's a story about a duck riding a bike around the farm, and all the other animals having something to say about the fact that he's riding on a bike. The duck is doing something new, something they have never tried, so he is scared by it, someone criticizes the fact that he's riding a bike, and in the end they will change idea somehow. I will not say how it ends, but it's a very interesting read. Author number 2 is Julia Donaldson. Julia Donaldson is, for me, a genius. I have a good percentage of all the books she has written, I think, because I love all her books. And I love especially the books where she collaborates with Alex Scheffler, that is the illustrator. I love the illustrations and I love the stories. I love the characters. I love how many of the characters may appear or be referenced to in other books. It's just a complete universe of Julia Donaldson, and her books are also so educational that I really recommend all parents to get a collection of Julia Donaldson's books. I have a few Julia Donaldson books here with me. Some of them look quite new, some of them look quite battered and that's because they have been used a lot, but I try to repair them when they get broken. I will probably need to buy them again at one point and to have an intact collection, but I think books need to be enjoyed. So the more you read it or your child reads it, the more they get out of it. So one of the books is Tiddler, the Storytelling Fish, and it's about imagination, it's about storytelling, and what I love about this book is that in this book, Julia Donaldson actually appears in the book as a character of the book. So if you want to see what Julia Donaldson would look like as a character in her own stories, this is the book. I will not show it. Then obviously Julia Donaldson's most famous book, The Gruffalo. The Gruffalo is one of my baby's first books and favorite books. I know it by heart by now because I read it basically almost every day. And this is about protecting oneself from strangers, finding clever ways to stay safe. Then another of my child's favorites is The Monkey Puzzle. It also has another title that I can't think about now, but The Monkey Puzzle, or Monkey Puzzle, sorry, without the Monkey Puzzle is a very interesting book, and it's especially interesting for a child that is learning new vocabulary and adjectives, and he is learning to describe things, because the story is about a monkey that is trying to find his mother, and a butterfly is trying to help the monkey find his mother, and the butterfly always shows the monkey different animals, but they are never the monkey's father or mother. Another very famous Julia Donaldson's book that is a little bit battered in my house is Room on the Broom, and this is about generosity, helping each other, being together, unity, and also sharing. And I find that many of Julia Donaldson's books are about love and sharing and family and unity and helping each other. Other two books that are also about helping others and sharing are Sharing a Shell and The Spiffiest Giant. The Spiffiest Giant in Town. The Spiffiest Giant in Town is about a giant that gives away all his clothes to some animals in need, and then they will give him a thank you. And Sharing a Shell is about three sea creatures that start sharing a shell together, and when they share a shell, they actually find out that they can help each other. They can help each other out, they can keep each other safe, and that being together is better than being alone. Another fantastic book by Julia Donaldson that is great for winter also and Christmas is The Gruffalo's Child. The story is about the Gruffalo's child who's going to challenge herself to confront her fears, to go and confront the Big Bad Mouse, and the Big Bad Mouse is not really the Big Bad Mouse, but just a mouse, is going to use shadows as a trick to trick the Gruffalo's child. And then we have another fantastic book, Tabby McCat, which may be a little bit less well known than The Gruffalo or The Gruffalo's Child or Room on the Broom, but it's still about helping each other, about growing up, and about family and family values as well, and friendship. Then we have Charlie Cook's favorite book, and this was actually one of my favorite Julia Donaldson books since the beginning, because it's a book containing other books. So you have a child reading a book, and then it says he read his favorite book, and then you have a page from the book he's reading, and then in that book another character will find another book, and then you get to see a page from the book he found, and they found the book, and you get to see a page from the book they found, etc., etc., etc. Then you have The Snail and the Whale. Again, it's a very odd couple. It's the couple of a snail with a whale that goes around the world, and a snail who wants to go around the world to see the world instead of just being stuck on a rock in a port. After the snail goes and sees the world, the other snails get also inspired by the snail and will try and go and see the world themselves. This is a great book to inspire children, and also to talk again about helping others, about friendship, about unity, and especially talking about how a little snail, a tiny snail, can also help a huge whale. So it kind of empowers children to feel they can do something for other people. They can help others. They are not too small to help. And then another book that I like a lot about Julia Donaldson is Tyrannosaurus Drip, which is about a little dinosaur egg or little dinosaur that is a herbivore that is adopted by a family of Tyrannosaurus Rex. And finally, another book that I like a lot is Zog, also by Julia Donaldson, and it's about Zog, a dragon, a small dragon that is growing up and is going to school to learn to be a very ferocious, very strong dragon, and he's not great at his studies, but he does learn in the end to do all the things he should be doing as a dragon, but he's helped by a little girl during his studies, and is every time he gets hurt. And it's a very interesting story, an inspiring story for both girls and boys to think about what they want to do when they grow up, what they want to do after they finish school, and also think critically about what they are learning, because Zog is going to school and is learning some things, but these are not the things that he wants to do or he will do when he grows up. And the girl in the story and a boy in the story are also doing things that they are supposed to do, but they are not exactly the things they want to do, and in the end they will actually find out what they really want to do. And again, this story is about helping other people, being generous, being selfless, and also being critical thinkers. So this story is very meaningful, and I think can help children think by themselves about what they are learning and what they want to do with their future. And there are many other Julia Donaldson books, but I cannot do the whole video just about Julia Donaldson. So author number 3 is Rosemary Wells, and Rosemary Wells has also a series of books all about very cute bunnies, and today I will just talk about one of these books. This book is called Bunny Cakes. Bunny Cakes by Rosemary Wells is one of the loveliest books about bunnies that I've ever seen, and it's also very educational. The book is about Max and his sister, who are trying to make a cake for their grandma because she is celebrating her birthday. So they are trying to make a cake. Max wants to make a mud cake, and his sister wants to make a pastry cake. And what is very interesting about this book is that it teaches children to try and try again and try again and try again, and especially to try and try again to write. The story exemplifies a child, or in this case a bunny, trying and trying again to write something, trying and trying again to explain himself, to get what he wants, to get to a goal. I did use this book and this story with students, with my students in the early year settings, and many of the children were inspired by the story to try and make their own shopping lists, even though sometimes some of them could not write yet. And now author number 4. Author number 4 is Helen Cooper. Helen Cooper has many interesting picture books like Bear Under the Stairs and other picture books. Today I will be showing you 2 of them. One is The Boy Who Wouldn't Go to Bed, and I do use this when my child doesn't want to go to sleep. It's very interesting. It's about a boy who doesn't want to sleep, and he just drives his car all around the place, finding tigers and trains and soldiers, miniature soldiers and other toys, and even the moon around, and trying to play with each of them, but each of them wants to sleep and they're just yawning, and they try to convince the boy to go to sleep. Another very nice story, and I love the pictures in this book as well, is Pumpkin Soup by Helen Cooper. Is the story of a cat, a duckling and a squirrel who live together in the forest in a small cottage, and who love to play music together and to make pumpkin soup. And sometimes they do quarrel, and something happens, a conflict happens, but at the end the conflict will be resolved, but again we know that quarrels and conflicts will happen again because they live together and they have different they want to do different things. So this book is about friendship and unity and trying to live together even when there is conflict, and when children, or in this case animals, may quarrel together. So this is a very good read, especially for parents that have 2 or 3 children who quarrel often. And author number 5 is Eric Carle. Eric Carle has left a huge amount of beautifully illustrated children books, and most parents know about Eric Carle. You probably know about The Very Hungry Caterpillar or Brown Bear, Brown Bear, What Do You See? But there are also many other books by Eric Carle. Brown Bear, Brown Bear, What Do You See? Is a very good book, especially for toddlers and children that are just starting learning the English language, or in this case, this is in English and Chinese. If they are starting to learn Chinese or English, this is a very good beginning, because the words are simple, are repeated in every page. Most of the words are repeated in every page, and children can talk about colors and animals and pointed colors, pointed animals, and also they can use the phrase what do you see and I see in their day-to-day lives. And one other of my favorite books by Eric Carle, and maybe it's just because I am a mother, is Does a Kangaroo Have a Mother Too? And I love this book because not only because of the illustrations and colors that are always fantastic in Eric Carle's books, but also because of how it is written with all these big letters and colorful letters. That can also help a child review colors and also recognize some specific words more easily. And then again, we have the repetition of the same sentences, of the same words, page after page. And the new vocabulary that we find is the name of the animal. So again, this is perfect for children that are starting to learn a language. Then author number 6 is Tony Wolff. This is surprisingly to me a not well-known author, because I grew up with Tony Wolff books, and we had lots of Tony Wolff books at home, but I did grow up in Italy, so this is probably a more popular author in Italy than in other countries, but his books are also provided in English and in Chinese and in many other languages. Tony Wolff books for me are not only interesting for their content, for their stories, but they are aesthetically very pleasing for me. And as I especially appreciate Tony Wolff's books about princesses, because they depict princesses and fairies in a very different way from the typical Disney princess or Nickelodeon princess model. So all the drawings in Tony Wolff's books are very realistic to me. I love how he draws all animals in a very realistic way, and how princesses and princes and all people in his books actually look like normal people, like children. They do have a specific look, and you can recognize his characters as his characters from his books, because they have a specific look, but they look natural, they look like normal people. So I really appreciate that. Here are some examples in Italian. This is Storie del Bosco, stories from the woods, and you can see this is a little dwarf. You have some beautiful pictures inside, like this, where you have the fairies. This is an Asian looking fairy that was actually my favorite as a child. She was, in my eyes, she was the most beautiful of all. And another book by Tony Wolff from the same series is this, also stories from the woods. And here you can see most of the characters in his stories. They are all very realistic, and inside you can see the stories themselves with the pictures. And I just loved looking at all the details in those pictures and reading the stories, and some of the stories were really moving. This is a version that I found in China, in Chinese, and I was quite surprised to find lots of Tony Wolff books in China. And this is a new version of Tony Wolff books. This is a Flip the Flap book, where you can open the flaps and find the same pictures or the same objects that you can find in a big picture. And again, all the illustrations of the city and of the objects are very realistic. And finally, another author that I grew up with is Richard Scarry. And Richard Scarry has written lots of books like this, which are basically illustrated dictionaries, where you can find very interesting pictures with lots of details and words next to the pictures that explain what those pictures are. And one of my favorite, I can still remember now that my favorite page in this book when I was little was this one. And it was just because it had lots of very yummy food, but because I was so interested in this picture, I would always read all the words in the picture, and I knew exactly how to say all these words in all the different languages that were in the book. This book is in Chinese and English. The one I had when I was little was in French, Italian, English, and German. It had 4 languages, but I did love reading all Richard Scarry's books. And again, like with Tony Wolff, Richard Scarry's books are aesthetically very pleasing to me. When I choose a book, I don't only look at the stories, at the content, but I do love to see some very inspiring pictures, some very detailed pictures, or some pictures that I can enjoy from an aesthetic point of view. And really, this is a bonus one. Another author that I love the pictures of is Beatrix Potter. And this is a bonus one. Another author that I love the pictures of is Beatrix Potter. This is a Chinese version of Beatrix Potter. I also have many others in English, but not here. But what I love about her books is how she draws the animals in a realistic but also very imaginative way. I hope that you appreciated the sharing of these authors, these children authors. If you would like to know more about one of these authors, let me know. I will make a video just about that author. And thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click like, subscribe, and also share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching and see you next time.